First video we're gonna watch is Industry Plant.
Industry plants are art.
Industry Plants That Failed by mattyballz. Pause.
Industry plants are artists that are planted in the music industry by labels or other important people. Sometimes they can be hard to spot, and sometimes
I hate it has nothing to do with this video in particular, but I hate when like somebody just gets popular out of nowhere just because people haven't heard of them, and then they're called industry plants. Just because you get popular out of what seems to be nowhere doesn't mean that somebody didn't cultivate a fan base and then just gradually got popular. It's not always just, oh, this person just got put by the industry just to be thrown in our face and like forced down our throats. It's not always that case. And then sometimes it's just pure marketing. Like this person gained a lot of traction, and then the label just like, yo, if we actually put money behind this person, maybe they'll blow the fuck up. Yeah, you never know.
they are painfully obvious and generic, which can deter people from wanting to listen. And those are the people that we're going to be checking out today. So today I have gathered 4 artists that were planted in the music industry but failed to grow. But first, let's quickly define what an industry plant is. So the term industry plant is thrown around all the time with tons of people giving it different definitions. For example, when you Google industry plant, the definition is artists who have only just started in the industry and are then picked up by a major label and groomed to be a star. But the issue with this
It's very loose in definition, but it's not far off.
Definition and many similar ones is that it can be applied to a lot of artists. The whole point of a label picking up an artist in the first place is to help them blow up. A better definition is an artist who is a major/indie label backing their movement but presents themselves as a homegrown startup to create the illusion of an organic following. But the issue with this definition too is that whether or not you're an industry plant, a lot of artists aren't very talkative about their label, and a lot of artists like to run with the did it on my own narrative. So that doesn't really help narrow down the list. However, for the sake of this video, I'm going to define industry plants as artists who sign early in their careers and have their image created mostly by the label as some sort of marketing gimmick.
I don't know, I just fucking did that.
And early in their career.
So artists who sign early in their careers and have their image created mostly by the label as some sort of marketing gimmick. Yeah, usually those, I'm independent, I'm really humble. I don't have no chains on no jewelry. It's just me and the fans. Like, it's just some generic ass bullshit, some PC bullshit.
Careers and have their image created mostly by the label as some sort of marketing gimmick. What I mean by this is that these artists have their personality, their music, and their style tailored to a certain audience, which typically comes off as very inauthentic. You'll see what I mean as we go throughout the rest of the video, so let's start off with one of the most notorious industry plants that there is, Jumex. So Jumex is one of the first artists that people tend to think of when it comes to industry plants. He's an artist who started blowing up in 2019 after the release of his song.
I've never heard of Jumex, so I have no idea who this person is, if they're important or not, if like what their pop and song for the moment is. Because usually at some point you at least hear some of these songs or like see some, like it'll be on TikTok, it'll be yeah, it'll literally be forced in every fucking situation. It'll be in movies, it'll be in fucking Target and shit. Can't fucking escape some of these songs.
Song Loner. However, it was pretty apparent right off the bat after the release of his first song Trapped that he was an industry plant. The song was a cookie cutter yell rap song where he's yelling the hook and then he raps a verse while forcing his voice to sound like this. The chorus was these lyrics repeated over and over again. I'm trapped and I can't get out, so might as well get high. I'm trapped and I can't get out, so might as well just die.
Yeah, that's just mixing Future and X. And then calling it original, and it's not even close because there's so many kids that add bullshit.
And I don't mind mediocre lyrics and stuff being repeated. Like Lil Pump is a good example, but at least Lil Pump had some sort of character and some charisma that made the song fun. Jumex's song was just, hey, X is popular, let me try to copy that. But the reason it was apparent that he was an industry plant because of this song is because it was his first song and it had a music video directed by ex-Odd Future member Taco, who's pretty up there in the music industry. And he was already signed when this song was released. So then it begs the question, how did Jumex get planted?
Shout out to Taco. Taco came from the fucking bottom with Tyler and fucking Frank Ocean and Haji and them.
Well, Jumex was your average high school SoundCloud rapper who was fascinated by music from artists like Lil Peep, X, and others. He was releasing some music before he was planted, but it was even worse than his newer stuff. You were never there, hearts broken to despair.
What the fuck? That shit sounds terrible, bro. Even like The engineer didn't help at all.
It just sounded like some Lil Peep inspired music with poor production. And that's how all his music was at the time. And on top of that, he was trying to look the part of a SoundCloud rapper as well. However, he went somewhat...
Yeah, looking emo. Even though you got dreads, braids, whatever, flopping in your face, trying to look down. Might have painted fingernails, maybe, maybe not.
Viral after posting a video online where he was smoking in his class and yelling "World Star." This video
Cloud chasing.
caught the attention of Bradley Scoffern. Bradley Scoffern is a guy who's worked a lot with Odd Future. He used to help manage Tyler the Creator and worked with Golfwang. He had been working
Oh, he got the choker on too.
with him as early on as 2012 and also worked as a carnival director at Camp Flognaw. So people theorized that Bradley found Jumex from this video, heard his music, decided to invest in him, hooked him up with some industry connections, and therefore planted him in the music industry. People have also said that the label he was with, Corton Records, was created by Bradley, made to look like some indie label, even though there was tons of money behind it. Like I said, this isn't a confirmed fact, it's just speculation, but it would make a lot of sense as to how Jumex got all these industry connections. People also theorized that Bradley had Taco direct his first music video and song, and Taco even played it during his DJ set at Camp Flognaw in 2018. His following song, Loner, was released shortly after Trapped, and he had writing assistance from
I can see how he could say that this, what is his name, Jumex, could just be thrown into the industry. Apparently, I guess that Bradley guy has to have some type of industry connection, especially if he knows like somebody like Taco or works with Taco, because Taco's with Tyler, and if him and Tyler are still connected, pretty sure Taco gets a lot of business.
I Love McConan, who actually helped him on a bunch
I love McConan. I haven't heard that name in a fucking
of
while.
other songs, which is kind of sad when the songwriting is so terrible. There's also screenshots of Jumex asking people to write him a song about flexing but emotionally. He got a genius
Flexing but emotionally. So you know that shit is just some he's just saying some bullshit just to make as much money as possible. I mean, I feel it. You want to make like the point for a lot of these artists is not even the art, it's just to make money, but damn, are you killing the fucking genre?
interview for this song and people clowned on it, with top comments like, Jumex looks like a Monster Energy can personified. Jumex also did this thing where he would just glamorize being sad because it was trendy, really trying to appeal to the emo type of community. So with a little bit of digging, it looks pretty obvious that he was planted in the music industry, and after releasing some EPs and singles throughout 2019
Bro, if you didn't, I would have thought this was a Billie Eilish cover.
in 2021, collaborating with people like Lil Xan and Travis Barker, it seems like he parted ways with Corton Records. His numbers started slowing down, and Corton probably realized that their investments had failed, so it's likely that they pulled out, or maybe Jumex left them, I'm not sure. So as of now, he's been releasing his latest songs independently with little to no success. I honestly think that the reason he failed is because his first impression was so terrible. The music wasn't great right off the bat, and the industry plant thing was so apparent. In my opinion, his music did get a lot better over time, but because people had these preconceived notions about him, they didn't really want to check his newer stuff.
Yeah, once you get that industry plant tag, it's kind of hard to shake that shit off. And like, you have to just continue to be fire. Like, I like Kid Leroy. I loved his first version of Fuck Love. Fuck Love 2 was kind of mid. Fuck Love 3 was a great redemption. But now he's starting to get into that, like, I feel like that MGK vibe where he's going to start going more poppy, more rock and roll. And, like, straying a little away from hip hop, and that's another, I guess, flaw that people see that makes them think that people are industry plant. Like they'll suck up the hip hop or R&B culture, and then just go run off to another culture, or the culture that people deem them to be from because of what they look like or what their demographic is.
Out. And that brings us to our next notorious industry plant, Baby Goth. So Baby Goth is
I don't know who the fuck that is.
One day. She
Who the
popped onto
fuck?
the scene.
I feel like there's gonna be a trend here. It's gonna be these edgy teenage like goth kids.
When she was
And trust me, there's nothing wrong with that. I used to be in that vibe back in like what was that 2007? Not 2007. I wasn't really like that. Let's say 09 to about 2011, 12 is when I started trying to get back and figure myself the fuck out.
featured on Trippie Redd's album A Love Letter to You 3 on November 9th of 2018. Shortly after that, she released her
Wait, I'm trying to think about that song.
first song, Swimming, with Trippie Redd and Lil Xan. So right off the bat, she looked like an industry plant. I mean, her first song wasn't even out and she was already on Trippie Redd's album, but there's a bit more to the story. Before she became Baby Goth, she was always really into music. She started making music under the name Bria Bueno and had been doing covers and releasing her own music. She was even with an indie label called Rewind Records. In 2016, she posted an Indiegogo campaign with the attempt to raise money so she could make an EP. Unfortunately, though, she only raised $320 out of her
Hey, $320 is still fucking something.
$14,000 goal. Eventually, she was able to release her EP called Babyface, which was more like a pop sounding project that was actually pretty decent. She had a pretty good voice, and I think she could have had more potential with that had she not rebranded. Baby Goth was doing a ton of things to try to get noticed, and she claims that she was eventually noticed by some people in the industry who found her on their Explore page on Instagram. She then signed to Republic Records, which is a branch of UMG, which is one of the big 3 record labels in the music industry. And when she got signed, she underwent a huge rebrand, covering up her previous career and creating a new image, which is a theme we see among many other industry plants. Her new image was face tattoos, flexing money, and posing with guns. Her and her label were also seemingly hiding the fact that she
What the fuck is with the gun? Wait.
creating a
The face tattoos are gonna come once you get a lot of those, like, or these type of artists end up getting the face tats and the extra piercings out there at a point in time.
new image, which is a theme we see among many other industry plants. Her new image was face tattoos, flexing money, and posing with guns.
Yeah, that's the that's the fucking holy trinity right there.
Her and her label were also seemingly hiding the fact that she had a husband and 2 kids, so clearly her label was trying to make
Whoa, she has a husband and 2 kids, and you acting like that? Nah. Oh, imagine somebody like, yo, this your mom's? Hey, where your mom's at? I'm trying to spin. Where your mom's? Like, bro, what? And I feel like the industry needs to realize if somebody has these not stipulations, but these already existing circumstances, like homegirl has 2 kids and a husband, maybe you shouldn't try to market that person in that way. Maybe you should try to gear them towards something that relates to their life instead of the exact opposite. So when somebody sees it, it kind of like, all right, what the fuck? It contradicts everything that you're making music about.
appeal to a certain audience, which, like I said earlier, is a marketing gimmick. Baby Goth then began blowing up after her first few songs. However, though, shortly after she started releasing music, she was exposed by a YouTuber named Progress, who basically proved she was an industry plant. He even found a video of one of her managers saying himself that he made her entire image and brand. He said that she was like a potato with no personality, so he gave
Why would you even give anybody this type of information about any artist? It doesn't matter who it is. You don't go out there and tell anybody in the public or some type of media that you literally created somebody's whole entire image. Like, that's either you being salty as fuck because you got no credit, or you just stupid.
everyone.
She has no personality. So I was like, since a person can't speak, you got to make them look cool, right? So we get a cool name, right? All we had to do, get face tats, because all these artists got face tats, right?
Bro, he's saying how to build the artist.
So you build an aesthetic, you build a brand, right? So when she walks into the office, she looks cool. You know what I mean? That's all labels want.
And that was insane to see. I cannot believe that he admitted that online for people to see. And honestly, her music as Baby Goth wasn't even that bad. Like, I'm not gonna go listen to it personally, but that brings me to another point that I want to make in this video. At the end of the day, in my opinion, if the music's good, that's all that matters. Anyways, she released an EP and continued releasing music throughout 2020, including a song with Slim Jimmy. But as she kept releasing, her numbers
She had a Slim Jimmy feature?
down. The fact that she was an industry plant and her music seems so inauthentic is
The Slim Jimmy feature is kind of low key. Shit.
most likely the reason why her career didn't work out. She's been teasing new music to this day, but has not released anything since 2020. Our next industry
Wait, you haven't released anything since 2020, and then you still, bro, that's, man, you don't got the catalog or the fans to do some shit like that. It's there and they're over, unless you come out with some crazy heat, and I mean crazy heat. Nobody's gonna give a fuck.
plant is some. Sorry guys, 1 second. Hey, what's up, man?
Hey man, I'm watching your new
Oh my
video and I
God.
love your shirt.
How are you seeing the video? I'm filming it right now. It's not even out.
Don't worry about it. Anyways, where'd you get that
He got that CIA risk.
shirt?
Well, I got this industry plant themed shirt that I'm conveniently wearing in my video about industry plants on
This is kind of- that's a tough shirt.
www.mattyballz.com. These shirts actually come in 4 designs. The original
I'll never get white because I'll fuck up a white shirt.
The purple plant, the pastel plant, and the one that I'm wearing in this video, the cloudy day. Each design comes in black and white and is printed on a high quality t-shirt made 100% out of cotton.
Wow, that shit sounds fire as fuck.
They sure are, man, and they're the perfect shirts for summer, which is just right around the corner. For the low price of $30, you can get yourself a shirt, and guess what, man? To incentivize viewers to watch to the end, I've hidden 3 one-time use codes throughout the rest of the video that either give you free shipping, 15% off, or even 50% off.
Wow, that idea is genius.
Yeah, I totally didn't steal it from other YouTubers, but yeah, hopefully they don't find them so I don't lose more money. Anyways, bro, I gotta finish this video.
But only I saw them shits. And this video is, by the time I'm watching it, it's like 6 days old, so them codes been gone.
So I'll catch you later.
Sounds good, man. I tell you what, back in Scranton, I was going to get some chocolate chip ice cream on my bicycle, I tell you. Bicycles, they're a wonderful thing.
Yeah, whatever, man. I gotta go. So yeah, I came up with this design a while ago, and Swaggy Supply Co. wonderfully executed it. So if you want to support the channel, this would be a really good way, and I'd really appreciate it. Once again, it's mattyballz.com. Not too hard to remember. So yeah, make sure to check out the shirts if you're interested. Anyways, back to the video. Our next industry plant is someone with one of the most fascinating origins out of anyone else on this list, and his name is Smiles. So Smiles is a rapper whose name may sound familiar because he was featured on 6ix9ine's album Tattletales on the song Charlie. Whose name may sound familiar.
Oh, that's why I didn't hear that shit, because I didn't hear this album.
Because he was
I didn't hear
featured
none
on
of these songs
6ix9ine's
on this
album Tattletales on the song Charlie. He released
I forgot he even named that shit Tattletales. That's crazy to go and snitch, and then that's your first fucking album back.
His first song is Smiles a day before that 6ix9ine song came out, and has been releasing music consistently. His first song is Smiles a day before that 6ix9ine's album Tattletales on the song Charlie. He released his first song is Smiles a day before that 6ix9ine song.
So your first single comes out right before your mainstream debut, basically.
Song came out, and has been releasing music consistently ever since. He hasn't seen much success and has only had one song since then crack 1 million plays, and that was a song featuring Snoop Dogg called Happy. So how did an extreme
I don't know how Snoop got paid to do that. Because bro, look at that fucking green screen.
releasing music consistently ever since. He hasn't seen
Bro, I got better outlines on my fucking YouTube thumbnails than this fucking music video.
much success and has only had one song since then crack 1 million plays.
Shit look
and that
like
was a song
640p.
featuring Snoop Dogg called Happy. So how did an extremely small rapper get featured on 6ix9ine's album and get a feature from Snoop Dogg? He's got to be an industry plant, right? Well, I can't say whether or not he's a traditional industry plant because he's had a career spanning over a decade before becoming Smiles. But I do consider him an industry plant of some sort, and you'll understand why after I explain it. So I think we should start with Smiles' dad. His dad is a man by the name of Bruno Mascalo, who is a multi-millionaire with an estimated net worth of $575 million. Now, the reason I think this guy is his dad is for 3 reasons. One, he follows Smiles. Bruno Mascalo, who is a so I think we should start with Smiles' dad. His dad is a man by the name of Bruno Mascalo.
Yeah.
Who's a multi-millionaire with an estimated net worth of $575 million.
What the fuck does he do? As stated earlier in our celebdigs.com.
Now, the reason I think this guy is his dad is for 3 reasons. 1, he follows Smiles and a Smiles fan page on Instagram. 2, they both have the same name. 3, he mentioned in an interview he has a son in a rock band in LA. And you may be wondering, isn't Smiles a rapper? Why'd you say that he's in a rock band? Well, that article is from 2011, when Smiles was in a rock band.
Ah, okay. This man's putting the pieces together. Okay.
And by the name of Drive A. He was the lead vocalist and guitarist, and I'm not gonna lie, their music was pretty solid. The band was formed in 2007 and put out music until 2011. They released 2 full-length albums, and they were actually pretty successful.
Oh, so he's a little bit older.
Video with over 160,000 views, and there's a ton of people in the comments saying that they actually missed the band or that they saw them live on tour with other bands. However, I can hardly find any information about this group, and after breaking up in 2000,
and those could be a bunch of old YouTube bots, like, you know, when you used to make get your friends to comment, or you would make several accounts so that you could comment underneath.
2011, Smiles
Bunch of
joined
abandoned
another
channels.
band called Raw Fabrics under the name Jack Franco. They started the band in 2011, and by 2014, the band had just finished a nationwide tour that they headlined and then released their debut EP, Gold Handcuffs. In 2015, after releasing their second EP, it seems like the band split, leaving just Jack Franco, who is now going by Jack Bruno. He was also struggling with drugs, which may have had a hand in that. Jack Bruno was active as Raw Fabrics until 2016, when he decided to go solo as Jack Bruno, but instead of making rock music, he made rap music. I believe he started releasing rap music in 2017, and that's when his career got extra weird. He had songs featuring famous Dex, who was super hot at the time, and he also had a song with Playboy
How the
Cardi. For
fuck did he get those?
some reason, some of his music was released as 92 Jack, so it seems like he's been having identity issues throughout his career. Regardless, he was somehow very involved in the industry and had tons of connections. He's open
Hey, he sounds like me. I changed my fucking YouTube name so many fucking times.
for artists like Wiz Khalifa, Juice WRLD, Lil Pump, Lil Skies, 6ix9ine, and Ray Shremmerd. It's left a lot of people wondering how he was able to get these connections, and I've seen some people speculating that he paid for them, and that would make sense since no one really knew who he was, and he was even booed off stage at some points. I feel bad for how hard he was clowned on, but the music was kind of cringy, like this live Dunkin' Donuts performance he did.
Trying to eat a diet, then you eat a donut.
Bro, what in the fuck? It just sounds terrible. Like, nobody told him that. How can I say this? Some advertisement, like jingles or like little raps, be alright. Might be a little pause, might be a little, like, you know, a little AO moment, might be a little cringy, a little corny, yeah. But they usually alright. This is just bad. Like, this is terrible.
When you're trying to stay sane, then you up and go nuts.
Anyways, he released a lot of music as Jack Bruno, although most of it's been deleted from streaming services. But then in 2020, Jack Bruno again rebranded to Smiles, whose persona was essentially that of a 2010 smiley face emoji. It seemed like he was trying to have a similar image to 6ix9ine. He came out as Smiles under Create Music Group, which is the same group that has worked with 6ix9ine, YNW Melly, and more. So people speculate that the reason he has all of these connections isn't because a label scooped him up and tried to make him an industry plant, but instead people speculate that he's just asking his dad for money so he can pay for these extremely expensive features and pay to open for people on tour.
And that would make sense. Necessarily saying, like, he doesn't really have, I didn't say he doesn't have the talent because I've never heard any of his music other than the couple things I've heard. Apparently, the rock and roll wasn't that bad. But if your dad's paying for you to hire management, you to get all these features, you to get certain placements and spins on certain platforms, yeah, it's easy to force yourself in the fucking algorithm.
So that's why I'd say he isn't a
Not easy, but easier.
traditional industry plant. It's more like he used his dad's money to actually plant himself in the music industry. And since he only has 18,000 monthly listeners despite all
That's
of these
terrible.
features and connections, I'd say it's been a failed attempt.
Way better than me, but that's not good. Especially with all those features that you got.
So yeah, Smiles' career is crazy and I haven't seen anything like this, so maybe I'll do a full video about it one day in depth. And that brings us to our final industry plant, Icy Narco.
I'm Icy Narco, and I deserve to be the XXL freshman.
Bro. He has blue dreads.
Because I taught SpongeBob how to play the clarinet.
Now I think the insane success
Alright, now that was just cringy because I don't know if he's really fraud on drugs, he's really stupid, or he's trying to act like basically like how Lil Pump would be, or like Lil Xan, or some of them like a rapper that would be like fucking stoned or perked out of their fucking mind, or zen out of their fucking minds.
of the SoundCloud era had labels foaming at the mouth trying to capitalize on it because Icy Narco is a clear-cut Lil Pump clone industry plant. And while making this video, I realized that my definition of industry plant may have been a little too strict, so I'm gonna bend my definition just a little bit for this section because Icy Narco did have a tiny bit of buzz before he got signed, and he also had a very similar image, but it's still pretty apparent that he's an industry plant being marketed towards a certain audience, and here's why. So Icy Narco began making music in 2016, back when he looked like a normal kid, but he didn't really get much attention. Throughout 2017, he changed his sound and style to be much more similar to that of a Lil Pump or some other trendy Florida rapper. His music was very
Yeah, Looks just like him.
very mediocre, but the sound was trendy, so he did garner a small fan base. Songs like You, Viagra Niagara, and more helped him build his
Viagra
audience.
Niagara.
Because he was already
Fucking
appealing to
stupid.
the Lil Pump type of audience, the label he would eventually sign with didn't have to do much to alter his image. It was already there. They would do some other inauthentic, cringy stuff, but I'll get to that later. All they had to do was just scoop him up and push his mediocre music, which is exactly what happened. Icy Narco signed to 10,000 projects in late 2017.
Yo, I need somebody to do a documentary on 10K projects, because I'm starting to see like their name a lot now, and I have never heard of them, and it's starting to seem like they're pushing certain artists. Ice Spice is on 10K projects, and also one of my favorite drill rappers at the moment right now, Kenzo Balla, is signed to 10K projects. And when I saw Kenzo had an album release, I was like, Kenzo got an album. First off, most of these drill dudes can't even get albums or even pay for one because they have so many fucking samples on these drill songs now. So when I see a drill artist getting a full length project, because I think it's 11 songs, the full length album, just cleared, samples all cleared, it's not taken down on streaming yet, and it's been almost 2-3 weeks now, and I'm like, bro, he had a whole Beyonce sample. The 444 sample from Beyonce singing in the background of Jay-Z's 444 song, not on the 444 album. Yeah, he had that. I'm trying to think about some of the other samples, but like I said, there's money behind him. Not the crazy money Ice Spice getting, because Ice Spice is being plastered all over the fucking internet and on our walls, and she's the next big thing. As long as she keep going, it's not gonna stop. But yeah, I need somebody looking at 10K projects.
2017 or early 2018 and instantly began blowing up. He even said himself that when he signed to 10K, he hardly had anything and had recently just moved out to LA. This is a label that's worked with artists like Ice Spice, 6ix9ine,
Yo, Trippy, Ian Dior, Ice Spice,
Ian Dior, Trippy Red, Coin,
6ix9ine.
and more.
They got Jaleel
His
on
first few
there.
songs that were
Yeah, bro, I'm telling you, bro. They are the industry plant. Everybody, I love when like the little era when Joe Budden was calling Atlantic the industry plant like hub. Now this is starting to look like the industry plant hub, and that's I want to look into that shit.
released on streaming instantly blew up and he got millions of streams. Icy Narco got a No Jumper interview and was seen with many other artists like YNW Melly and Young Nudie. However, the gimmick wore off quickly and his streams immediately plummeted after his first few songs. And of course, some people were enjoying his music even before he signed, but it was very short-lived and a lot of his views were probably just from people who wanted to check out the new and blue Lil Pump. He dropped his album Winter Can Be
New and
Murder in
Blue.
2019 with 10K and it performed very poorly. It seems like his label even had him link up with Gary Vee for some reason, maybe for publicity or PR, but it's clear that this was a corporate decision. Regardless, after 2019, he stopped working with 10K Records and has only released 5 songs since. The reason he didn't work out is because his style was so unoriginal and it was very obvious that the label was just trying to capitalize on this trend. Most viewers were
And that trend didn't last long, because look where Lil Pump is now. Lil Pump could come out with a hot song every, like, you know, he still has that opportunity, but it's not 2017, 18 anymore.
aware of this too, with top comments like, "This guy jacked so many rappers in one track," and "XXX the Smoke Pump God."
Yo. That's a go-to comment. Roblox, World Star Hip Hop, shout out to you.
And again, I wouldn't say his music was that bad. It was decent, but it lacked any originality and it was capitalizing on a dying trend. So despite 10K Records planting him in the music industry, he failed to grow. Let me know if you have any other industry plans you'd like me to talk about in the comments below. Anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you're interested in checking out one of these shirts, I think they're pretty cool. You might like them. Make sure to get them on mattyballz.com. I'll have the link in the description below. Other than that, though, thank you for
Shout out to Maddie. Oh my god, why is the house phone ringing? Alright. Shout out to Maddie. That was a great video. Never watched one of his videos before. I saw this in my recommended and I don't regret it, so I'm gonna like. And then I'm gonna subscribe. Make sure you check out Maddie. Like I said, his last name because it's Paulus. I'm cool. But shout out to Maddie. All right, on to the next video. What are we going to watch?